The Allies of World War II, a vast coalition of nations, armies, and ordinary people, came together to resist the greatest wave of tyranny the modern world had ever seen. But who were they, truly? And how did nations separated by oceans, languages, cultures, and politics join forces in a conflict that consumed the globe? It began not with a single event, but with a chain of aggressions. Germany's invasion of Poland on September 1, 1939, Japan's relentless expansion across East Asia, Italy's campaigns in Africa. Nations soon realized that no country was safe from the rising storm. Britain and France declared war on Germany after the invasion of Poland, though unity was fragile as both feared another trench war disaster. Poland, though overwhelmed by Germany and later invaded by the Soviet Union, continued fighting through exiled forces and heroic pilots like the 303 Squadron in the Battle of Britain. Across the Commonwealth, from Canada and Australia to New Zealand, India, South Africa, and many territories, millions joined the war effort. By 1940, Europe collapsed. France fell, the Low Countries were overrun, Norway and Denmark annexed, and soon Greece and Yugoslavia would fall. Britain stood alone under heavy bombing, U-boat attacks, and global strain. Yet this was only the beginning. The United States, though deeply isolationist, slowly shifted under Roosevelt, revising neutrality laws, sending weapons to Britain and France, and launching the Lend-Lease program. By 1941, American factories roared with unprecedented production. But America itself was still not in the war. The Soviet Union was thrust into the conflict when Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history. Cities burned, millions died or were captured, and yet Soviet resolve hardened as factories moved east and armies reformed. China had already been at war since 1937, suffering immense losses in cities like Nanjing and Shanghai, while nationalists and communists, despite deep differences, both fought Japan. The Axis controlled vast territories across Europe, Africa, and Asia, and tyranny seemed poised to dominate the world. Then came December 7, 1941, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, killing over 2,400 Americans. The U.S. declared war, and Germany and Italy followed, bringing America fully into the global struggle. By 1942-43, more than 30 nations joined the Allied cause, including the US, UK, Soviet Union, China, Canada, Australia, India, South Africa, Brazil, Greece, Yugoslavia, Poland, the Netherlands, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, Norway, and many others. Coordination was difficult, with political tensions, strategic disagreements, mistrust, logistical nightmares, and divergent post-war visions, yet the Allies remained united. In 1942, the Allies reached their lowest point. Rommel pushed toward Egypt, U-boats ravaged shipping, Leningrad starved, Stalingrad burned, and Japan swept through Asia, capturing Burma, Malaya, Singapore, Hong Kong, the Philippines, and the Dutch East Indies. Across 3 continents, defeat seemed imminent as morale collapsed and fears grew that Britain might seek peace, the Soviet Union might fall, China might fragment, or the U.S. might fail to sustain a two-ocean war. But ordinary men and women held the line. Merchant sailors braving U-boats, Soviet workers freezing in factories, Chinese villagers hauling supplies, British pilots defending the skies, and American Marines preparing for unknown islands. Slowly the tide turned. At Stalingrad in February 1943, the German Sixth Army surrendered, marking a decisive shift on the Eastern Front. Allied forces in North Africa unified under a joint command and pushed Rommel back, capturing over 250,000 Axis troops in Tunisia. Advancements in radar, sonar, aircraft, and convoy tactics turned the Battle of the Atlantic around. The Allies invaded Sicily in July 1943, Mussolini fell, and Italy surrendered, though German resistance continued. In the Pacific, China tied down millions of Japanese troops, while American and Australian forces fought brutal battles at
Guadalcanal, Tarawa, New Guinea, and the Solomons. Allied leaders met at Casablanca, Tehran, and Yalta to coordinate worldwide strategy, plan D-Day, open new fronts, defeat Japan, and shape the post-war world. On June 6, 1944, more than 150,000 troops from numerous Allied nations landed in Normandy in the largest amphibious assault in history, leading to advances across France, Belgium, and the Netherlands while the Soviets pushed westward. By 1945, Berlin was surrounded, the Rhine was crossed, Japan was isolated, and the Allies closed in. Germany surrendered on May 7, 1945, and Japan on September 2, ending nearly 6 years of global war. The cost was staggering: over 20 million Soviet lives, up to 20 million Chinese, millions more across Poland, the UK and Commonwealth, the United States, Yugoslavia, Greece, and countless others displaced or suffering. Resistance groups in occupied nations, France, Poland, Yugoslavia, Greece, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Czechoslovakia, fought bravely, saving lives and delaying Axis operations. From the ruins, the Allies built new international institutions: the United Nations, NATO, later, war crimes tribunals, reconstruction programs, and alliances that still shape global politics. The Allied victory was not inevitable. It came through unity, sacrifice, courage, industrial strength, intelligence breakthroughs, strategy, and the resolve of ordinary people. The Allies were imperfect and often disagreed, but they stood together against global tyranny. And because they did, the modern world is vastly different from what the Axis sought to create. This was just one of countless untold stories of the Second World War, as the memory of those who fought continues to shape our understanding of history.